Hello, everybody. Hello, Boom. Congratulations on your first. How are you today? Whoa. More Unreal Engine C++ today. I know, everyone's so excited for it. Oh, Ethernet cable. Whoops, let's not pull that out. I'm doing secret blender things. Oh, that's exciting. Is this for your stream or is this for a commission? Secret. It's secret, Skittles. We can't ask about it. What the heck, man? So yesterday, after the stream, I fixed some stuff. No, you go away. We don't want you. I don't know. How do you not know? It's too secret. It's so secret. Boom doesn't know. We will never know what it is. Let me just do this. This. So I broke this yesterday. So I got pooling working. We press start, we do that. So we can create, we can request enemies from a pool and we can spawn them, but we can't actually return them to the pool. And now if I press Storm, hello, how are you doing today? So now if I press stop, I should get a whole bunch of arrows. There we go. Okay, so Accessing none when trying to read property, energy, enemy manager. This one. I bit myself with a cat. What? You bit yourself, so you took the cat, and then you were like, here, bite me. Is that what you did? So confused. The perfect emote. I got up too fast and my hand swung behind me and I hit my cat's tooth. Punctured my hand like a steak bite. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I feel very bad for the cat, but that is kind of funny. Are you okay? Will you survive? I like when I pet Boom. Do not. Petting Boom is fun. There's like a, I don't know what this percentage chance is, but it feels like there's a 90% chance you're going to get your hand bitten off. So, who are you and where do you exist? So, you are angry because, who knows why? We're both fine, lol. Okay, well, I'm glad you're both fine. Why? What is this? Who made this? Oh, this was me. Never mind. So that's not the issue. Where's the issue gone? Where is this? This is on the event graph. So let's see what happens here. We do all of this, we do all of that. Like putting hand in blender. So there's a delay, which is the death delay. And then we say after the delay, we handle the enemy's death, which is self. Who is self? This is BP enemy, base enemy, right? We go to the enemy manager and we say handle death. So which part of that is unhappy? One, two, three. So enemy manager, unknown class. Why is it unknown? Oh, wait. You know what? You know what? This might be my fault. It might be my fault. I mean, it has to be my fault at this point, right? Who else's fault could it be? Get. Where do we set it? How does this variable just exist? When you're writing Unreal Engine code and you just have a variable that just exists for the sake of existing, but you have no idea where it got set. So on bind, we hide, we set that, we set up the health bar. Handled it. Yeah, but where does this come from? It's just magic. Find references by name. Let's see, game mode, no it's not that. Spawn enemies, maybe there. If you're trying to delete a variable, does it cry about where it's stored? No, this one is the fact that I'm spawning the enemies and somehow they are getting... Oh, you know what I'm probably doing is when these enemies are spawned, they get a reference to enemy manager. But what's happening is because of how I changed how they spawn, they actually don't have access to that. So what I need to do is possibly move this. Might be an option. Yeah, I think that must be the issue. My guess is if I look at the enemy manager here, there was code that I was using to spawn them. Build pool, here we go. Set is active, we add it to the pool. Spawn BP enemy base. Let's build a pool where we build 10 of them. There is somewhere in here where I'm guessing this value here is, yeah, exposed on spawn. So we need to see where we are spawning set variable. There we go. So here is, so that's where we set this. So let's go handle enemy death. Yeah, I now understand the full scope of the problem. So if we go back to, this is the enemy pool manager. So we've got the enemy manager and enemy pool manager. So in the enemy manager, what do we have? We've got tick request enemy. Why does you have a request enemy? Oh, because we wanted that. Okay, that's just for blueprint stuff. Then inside, let's look at enemy base. So we want this. And we want this on... Can't handle the enemies. Basically, that's exactly what's happening. It can't. I just can't handle them. Which one do we want this on? We want to replace this in the enemy manager. Because we want this to happen, basically. Enemy base, so enemy manager. Where is the manager? This one. So we want a public function here, and this will be handle enemy death. Handle enemy death, which must take what? What do you want it to take? You want it to take a enemy base star enemy that, and then so that should work. Save all. If I restart Unreal Engine, I'm always curious to see what happens when you name a variable the same value, the same name as the blueprint version. Because what I expect to happen is that the C++ side gets built first. So it goes, oh, there's a enemy, handle enemy death with the same name. So Unreal Engine then says, when it goes through and builds the blueprint, it goes, this really has the same name. So it just adds a unique identifier, like 1 to the end of it, and then sees if that's fine. My guess is that is what it's going to do. If it's an interface function, we'll override it. Oh, nice. Why is Unreal taking so long to start? It's just stuck at 90%, going generating Python types. Good morning, fam. Hello, Stevie. How are you doing? I am pushing Unreal Engine to its limits. Ah, there we go. That's what I was expecting. Name conflicts. That's exactly what we want. So delete that. Then handle enemy. Handle. Can we have a handle? Can we spell handle enemy? This one. That's all. Handle enemy. This one. There we go. That. Oh, you're just angry because you just think. Hey, boom. How are you doing today, Stevie? Are you well? Are you having a good weekend? It's pretty early for you, isn't it? I don't know what time it is there. Oh, it's like morningish. It's not too early. It's not too late. So then we want set enemy state. State, like that. Hidden. We want that. we want this, remove item, and we want it to remove. Oh, we want to remove base enemy. That's the one I made. That one. Remove item. That. Cool. Delete that. Delete that. Just delete. Oh, no, no, too much. I deleted too much stuff. Panic. It's 9:30. I've been up for a couple of hours. Nice. Just working on 2D art commission work. Oh, that's exciting. What did you work on this week? You were working on the things for the viewers who have been subbed for 11 months or have gifted more than 2 subs, or I'm sure there was a third option. There was a third option. You're working on those. Those look like they were coming out really nicely. I might not always be talking, but I am sometimes listening. But it's hard to tell when I am and am not listening during the streams. Because what was I doing on your stream on Friday? Oh yeah, I was finishing off work on Friday, that's why. I ended up only streaming twice this week because I needed to work on this commission. Nice, okay. So is streaming / commissions your sort of full-time work that you do now? Okay, so that should just magically work. That's a mess and I need to fix it. And then you should be broken, but also not broken. So now what we should do is go handle enemy death. That will be self. That we can delete. So that's the first half of that that's now fixed. But now the issue is when we spawn them, we're actually never setting... Because technically we need it inside the constructor, don't we? We do. So instead of having this variable inside our BP enemy manager, let's delete that. I'm going to save Unreal Engine. You're going to be unhappy, but you will save and I will close you down. And then before I forget, we now need to go into the enemy manager. Pool manager needs to go. So if we request an enemy, we need a way of being able to set... Oh no, first we need to go to the variable and add a variable name in the private section, a U property, and this will be of type... Is it this? Enemy actor, that one. Enemy manager. That'll be a pointer to you. And there we go. And then you're going to be upset, so we will include you. I would say about 75% focus on my game, 25% focus on commissions to try and keep a little cash flow. But it's hard to split the attention. Ah, right, I get that. But it looks like you're making good progress in the game, so that's very good. There's always seems to be like considerable changes happening between the two streams. Whereas I feel like I've just been working on the pooling system for the last while. Why is it unhappy with that? Includes require. I'm 100% focused on stealing Silo's code. I appreciate the commitment, Boo. Braxton, hello, how are you doing? So we've got that now, and then what we need to do... Could you not? Like, honestly. Enemy... Wait. Did you add... No, the enemy base is a reference to the enemy manager. The early part of my year was a lot of work with not so visible progress. So I feel you, Sada. Skittles knows. Ah, nice. You mean Boom's code? It's like, this is all Boom's code that I'm stealing. I've almost... Sometimes the C++ code makes this easier, and sometimes it just makes it so much worse. Gil, hello, how are you doing? Are you feeling better today? Did you get some sleep? Silas, stop stealing Boom's code out of your imagination. I'm sorry, I just can't help it. It's so good. I've just got to use it. It is a U object, so that's fine. Oh my god. A third double stream weekend. Isn't it actually a fourth? Isn't this a fourth now? I need to take you. Okay, let's actually just do this. We go like this, and then we go. Will it be protected? No, we'll put it here. You function blueprint callable. We want that to be void set that. Put that in there. Enemy manager. We'll do that, although I'm not completely happy with it. It'll be fine. Actually, no, we can just go like this. We'll do it inline, so... let's just go value... enemy manager... enemy... equals value... and save. Hey, I'm a new game dev in Algo. Love tower defense. I'm doing a simple RTS for my portfolio because I've got nothing to showcase UE AI knowledge. Nice. How's that going? Are you making good progress with it? Not much better, but good enough to draw a little and watch a stream on the side. Fair enough. Well, I hope you feel better soon. It sucks that you have that sort of horrible sickness where you can't even lie down. Like, that doesn't even help. It just makes everything worse. Actually, it's a fifth. Crazy. Whoa. Everyone's drawing. Everyone's co-working. Yay. So let's see. We've got set enemy manager. Although, can we... I'm just wondering, because instead of having to manually set this, because the problem is now every time I think what we should do is not, maybe we shouldn't manually set this at all, but rather when we spawn the blueprint, we actually have that as part of its constructor. So this will then take, let's see what happens if I do this. So we take the enemy manager, we go to our constructor, we say that you have to have that. So we remove the double brackets. Then we'll update that, and I want to do this inline. Why don't I just go this and then go, what is it? Actually, we'll just go like this. That will be that, that will be in, that will be that, and then that will just be that. And that should make everybody happy. Nope, that's not right. That will make everybody happy. Rename this, rename the parameter to that. Thank you, Unreal. That. Initialize all uninitialized variables. No, we don't want that. We don't do that here. And then you need to go at the very top. Oh, right. I see the problem now. It's good, planning it out. Planning out all the unit behavior trees and economy. Lots of pre-code housekeeping. I've been a Unity dev for 10 years, so more rewiring my thinking. Fair enough. At least you got sort of a lot of experience coming into it. How are you finding the switch to Unreal Engine so far? What was your reasoning for changing? Was it kind of the how what Unity has sort of shown the game dev community in the last year, I think it is at this point? You're actually drawing. You're actually drawing while I try to draw. It's tragic, but we're all trying to draw. The feeling of being bad at it never goes away. What do you mean it never goes away? So we're just gonna forever sit here going, I don't know how to do this. Well, not don't know how to do this, but more, it all looks bad. But I get what you mean. Even when you feel like you've got experience in something, it still feels like you can always improve. Maybe that's a good thing though. Sekilos, I had a second Windows updated the other day. My first was 23H2, but there was a 24H2 and it broke a bunch of stuff, including iLock software for sample libraries. Aren't they on to like 25H2 now? Because it usually refers to the year, so 23 would be 2023. I hope not. Not changing, more of an expansion of scope and potential. Oh, cool. UE is definitely built for team scale. I'm a lot more infrastructure for better or worse. That's true, I get that. Are you taking my shorts chatter, Cider? Yes, I am. I'm stealing until you start streaming because I've noticed as soon as you start, it just goes down again. So apparently there's like a very, fine, small community that's out there. My iLock software doesn't work at all, and my other recording laptop since I updated to Windows 11. Now I'm afraid to update my main one. Ooh, classic Windows. As your eyes improve, you continue to discover new flaws in your work, even as it improves. That actually makes a lot of sense. Because I find with programming, it's sort of a similar thing where when you come back to programming that you've done 6 months ago, it feels like you've written everything you've written so far is just horrible and you need to redo it all. In Unity, I'm used to building every system and tooling. Unreal has a lot of tooling, but it also gives you a lot of flexibility to sort of make them. It's all just a mix-up. That's just the shorts algorithm. It just drops off real hard. It's funny how that, because I've noticed with the shorts algorithm, it'll come in and it'll be like, it'll come in for a bit and it'll be super hard. Like tons of people coming in and out this chat, and then it just drops off as if your stream is just dead to YouTube now, and it's just like, okay. My first short streams would have a bump at the beginning and then fall off after 30 minutes. Yeah, that's kind of what I see as well. It's weird that it happens like that, but I guess that's just, you know, the algorithm. Just make sure you know your login. Also, what did Microsoft do as a command prompt? It has tabs and a huge settings menu. They've made it so you can do more with it, sort of. So you can now have like different ones. You can have Ubuntu directly from here, which is pretty cool. I like this feature that you've just got WSL connected and that's it. I also love that my username is just CiderAtomic. I definitely didn't set that up wrong. Absolutely. I love how extensive UE is as well. But I got to overcome that hump of understanding how UE intends to be used before I can know better. Yes, very much so. You'll find you'll sort of hit a point where your previous experience kind of really starts helping you. Because at least you're just sort of trying to figure out how to use the engine in the best way. You're not trying to also figure out how to do game dev at the same time, which helps. It's the duck song. Where's Temtic? I use a CMD because I have new of them. Ah, right. Hey, thank you for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate it. Also, if you have anything to post, let me know. It would be cool to see how your game comes along. In theory, this should just work. Said no man ever. Now I need to go back to... Okay, so I've That's now broken. It's very broken. That also means that any other place that I've had the code is now going to be broken, which is what we want. And because this then prevents, what I like about this approach is if you just have it in the constructor, it prevents us having to reset this every time, because at the moment there's no, if we request a variable, there's, I mean, no, technically that's wrong. I could still do it in the other way, because I still know in the code when I am creating an enemy for the first time. So what is probably the next step for me, in the pool manager at least, is if we go... Gas was a really unique challenge because I had a lot of preconceptions. Now I understand its main benefit in design code decoupling. So the benefit is hard to see in a solo dev setting. Gas, I think, is also one of those systems that's quite complicated off the bat. I know a lot of people have had to spend quite a lot of time trying to figure out and use it. I've sort of actively avoided using it. I know Mydrong has used, I think, Gas quite a bit and just about had to rewrite the whole system. I gotta start streaming again. It's a good motivator. It is. It's a really good motivator. Same, never touch Gas. I think Gas looks very powerful and there's a lot of good use cases for it. But I think from what I've seen is some people use it in the wrong setting. So it's almost, I overuse it. Fair enough. Yeah, I'd say if you don't need all the features of Gas plus replication, then I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah. And I've seen, you've used it a lot. It's a special case though. You are a bit of a special case because you've just about had to rewrite entire parts of the engine and then discover that the way the engine was working was kind of fine. A sneaky Mydrong on YouTube. Yes, he's hiding over there today. On the other hand, net replication was like insta lock in for me, having a background in Photon and Mirror. But that's good. The replication is something that trips off people a lot. My mom shot me down the stairs as a kid. Well, it worked out well for you. You don't trust the you don't trust Unreal Engine now. You're just like, you're suspicious of everything. It's like, ah, no, I'll write it better. And then you write it better. It's like, progress. Also because that kind of game, the kind of game you're making, the game you're making has a lot of complex systems though. So it makes sense that you unfortunately have to modify large parts. So for example, Unreal Engine claims it can be used for like a flight simulator game. There's actually a template for it. But if you knew the amount of work that actually goes into modifying parts of the engine to make that actually work better. Oh yeah, better. Yes, better. What does this do? This returns to the pool. Remove swap. Oh, for those who don't know, if you've never seen an array, remove to swap is great. I didn't realize what it did yesterday until I actually had a bigger look into it. Well, he refuses to use... He's back! He refuses to use LOD in a simulation. Does anyone not know what a remove swap does? Nanite got burr. Nana foliage got burr. I don't. You might find this interesting then. Because I didn't know this yesterday. So, let's say you have an array, right? Normally, what you do when you want to move something out of an array. So, in my use case, I have available and in use. And what I need to do is I need to move an element from this array into this array. So, you can do that with a normal just, you know, cut. But then, what happens with an array is you now have to shift every single element down. Which is, you know, fine for a small number, but if you've got large amounts of arrays, that becomes very big. So what remove swap does is it takes out the element that you want, and then it swaps the element, the empty position with the last one. So if you don't care about the order, it just puts it in there. Because that's a lot quicker than having to iterate through the whole thing every single time. Then there's also pop, but which is more for sort of queuing system And I'm using pop in mine because I don't care where the element is. And for me, if it's the last one in the array, it doesn't matter because they're all the same. Remove at swap is very important in my ESC system. Most minimal data for movements. Exactly. It was something I wasn't considering yesterday, and then I was looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I was just getting like the first element every time, because you generally know the nice thing about getting the first element is as long as it's not empty, you know there's something there. But the problem with that is it then has to go and move every single other element down. And I was like, okay. And I'd looked at this briefly yesterday in Unreal Engine, and I kind of just glanced over it and not realized it's what it actually does. And I was like, ah. So the more you know. And it was one of those things that I discovered yesterday. It's like I've been doing Unreal Engine for I don't even know how long at this point, and programming for I don't even know how long. And it's like I learned something new. I was so excited I explained it to Bubbles. Bubbles had to sit there, have me explain arrays to her. It's closer to stack performance, but you still need the index, so that's why it's not just a stack or a DQ. Yeah. I believe the remove at index is like ON or something, is it a complexity or something, whereas remove swap is just O1. So it's like a lot better. I had a program yesterday that I ran, and I got interesting results because I wanted to see like what is the, so in theory that's the performance increase, we can see that. But what does it actually entail? So I wrote something that showed the differences. Weirdly, in like a single core thread, for some reason, on the first test that I did, it was slower than just cut. Okay, it was only 10 elements in the array, but it was slower than just cut and replace. But then when we made it like 500 elements in the array, it became like much quicker. Also found out that Microsoft removed Word pad, which is what I used to write my blog. Oh, interesting. O to N, I think. I just call it linear, and I don't care about the big O coefficients. Yeah, fair. I can't remember which way around they go. I just know this one bad, this one good. Or I look at it as like the number of things it has to do. So if it has to repeat a bunch of things a lot, then, you know, bad. If it only has to do like 2 steps, then it's not as bad. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So that's this whole thing came across yesterday because I was looking at how am I returning an enemy to the other pool, which basically we used the swap and then we just add it back, which is not too bad. Does this code need to be that performant? No, it doesn't happen that often. Maybe once per tick, twice at a really weird interval, but rather just have it be more efficient. And I've got completely sidetracked as to what I was doing, right? I wanted to spawn an actor. Because we're doing it this way. ON is search. 1 to move, 1 to swap. So I think N+2. Maybe. I can't remember. Something like that. It's faster than just going remove at like index and then having the whole array shift. Where was I? So what we're going to do in here is when we have to create a new entity, so the enemy manager is going to need to make sure it has the pool manager. So a new enemy will have new enemy. I'll have to go and change the other thing. And then we have, no, not that. What is it called? Pool manager. How do I tell it to always, is it that one? No. find, open, expand, collapse. Can you not always show me the selected one? I have this on my work machine, so how do I do that here? Resize, move to, yep. Show all files, and we don't actually need to show all. Find. Enemy pool manager. Enemy manager. Set pool manager. Pool manager. Save that. Go back to you. Copy that. Go into you. I'm triggering myself. I'm a grad. In grad school, we had to write a GARM in 68K and roll out our own sprite renderer and bitmap codecs, having to demonstrate why breadth first was more optimal. That is really, really cool. I love the visual representations of those kinds of things, because sometimes in code you do, so was that actually a game? Because the visual representations of those, I find they make it a lot easier to understand what's actually happening under the hood. Like watching a sort algorithm actually execute stuff is super satisfying. Weird that you're still complaining, but you know, each to their own. So we do that, and we're actually just going to create that. I'm going to change that to be that to be that. That's going to be that. That will be that. Save that. We go back. Did I miss the memo? Why are you... New enemy? Yes. Blueprint callable, comma. Did you do the wrong one? Yes, you did the wrong one. That's why this is not working. Those visual videos are dope. Yeah, they are. I've sort of started... It's weird because I feel like I should have done this sooner, but I've started questioning things a lot more as I've gained more programming experience. So when something tells me that something is faster, for example, if it's something that's not quite complicated, I'll try and implement it myself and like put timings in to see the actual difference. Because I like writing the code out and seeing how it executes and why it's quicker or not quicker. So for example, I did a thing a while ago and I was checking like the performance difference in multi-threading, and it was an interesting concept. Why am I blanking on his name? You know, the German C++ dev who makes a tower defense. Let's see if Google knows. Is it Casey? I don't know if he's German. He might not be German. This is the guy I was talking about.
Search results. Let's go.
This one? Oh, there you go. Let's see him. I think I watched him on Twitch before. It's actually sub to him. Go back here. We don't want the pool manager, actually. Yeah, that's him. I interviewed at ID Soft like 6 months ago. You want to hear something crazy? Their entire engine is a lockless multi-threading. Wait, what? How is that possible? Isn't that like the whole thing about multi-threading is it has to have locks? So how do you have lockless multi-threading? How do you even write code in such a way that it's like that? That is so cool. Atomic indexers? Do you know if there's like any talks about that? Because I'd be really interested to figure out, like learn more about that. Because it's multi-threading is not something I've done much with, and being able to find out like more ways of how they do multi-threading would be really cool. I keep hearing rumors that everyone's like Unreal Engine 6 is going to be pure, is going to be able to have everything run in a multi-threaded level. And I'm like, is that really going to be true? Because there are some things that don't need to run multi-threaded. We want the enemy manager. Completely confused myself. Atomic operations are immune to race conditions. I mean, that makes sense then, actually. That would explain, yeah, that would exactly explain why it works then. Because that's what the big issue with multi-threading is, that the data being accessed can be accessed at different points in time. So because of that, you get the race conditions. Enemy manager. There we go. So that's what we want. We can delete that. We can take this. We can go here. We can go to this. We can go that. How did I do it both right and wrong? I tell you, when I stream and write code at the same time, I feel like I just lose 100 IQ points. So they design all their parallelized data structures so the data access is so the access is data is atomic. That's pretty cool, actually. That seems kind of like a revolutionary idea, to be honest. And it'd be nice to find out more about that. I know they've done some talks. I don't know if they've done a talk on that, but it'll be cool to, might be cool to see some. Okay, so that is now for every enemy. Now, as far as I remember, this is the only class that builds this, right? Is this the only one that's spawning? Like, if I go this F, there's another one. Who is this? This shouldn't exist. That's the issue. So can we not do this? Because that removes the need for that. What do you actually take? I know you need two things. You need the enemy type to spawn. Okay, what else? What else do you want? The pool data, this one. And then that should do that. Where's the class? That's the class. I wonder if I could make that a bit more. That's fine. Okay, we don't care about that right now. Enemy to spawn is used where? It isn't used because we don't need that. We don't need this. So it should just be spawn an enemy, add an enemy of type in the pool later. When I stream and do something, it feels like driving with a navigation system. You drive the whole route, and in the end, you can't remember anything on the route. Okay, I don't quite have that level. I feel like I'm trying to drive and text at the same time. It feels like you're spending your whole time trying to not hit the wall, and you can't remember what you did 5 seconds ago. But then I'll finish the stream, and I do get the part where you can't remember anything you worked on. You like stop the stream, and then it's like, I have no idea what I worked on. Like, I looked at all this code yesterday, and you'd think I understand how it works. It's like, nope. I understand this piece because I worked on it after the stream. The rest don't understand any of it. I haven't seen it, but it's a fascinating subject. It is. The nature of streaming, it comes with the territory. Streaming and doing code or like dev for me feels like doing it on almost hard mode, in the sense that I'm trying to make decisions about the code that are going to affect it later on, while still keeping a conversation with what's happening, while trying to, it's like, how well can you multitask? And then context switching. Context switching is a pain. I know how it works. Thank you, Boom. That's because you've got screenshots for all my code now. It's a lot of mental multitasking. It is. If it comes muscle memory if you do it enough. Oh, that's good to know. I mean, I've been streaming now for what, 18 months. So I feel like it's gotten a bit better, but not as much. Like I find the blender part is generally not too bad. How many times have you streamed? How many times have I streamed? Technically 108 times. Well, in this new series, let's call it. So in the grand scheme of things, actually not that much, I guess. That solves that. Now the issue is that the enemy pool manager needs to actually get... I've been doing it for over a decade, and I used to do 7 to 9 streams per week. That's so many. Don't you find it quite tiring? Of course, my stream was bigger back in the day. Ah, fair enough. Because I find, as much as I take a break in the ad break, it does kind of, like after a 5-hour stream, it does feel like a lot of work, in the sense of sort of keeping track of everything that's been going on. Like if I do 5 hours of work, I don't often feel as tired. But then I'll work for, 3 hours, take a break for half an hour, and then actually like a full break, like completely away, and then come back. It's muscle memory now, and I don't have any other social interactions. Fair enough. The social interactions in the weekend, when I've got to like go out and I'm streaming, like last week Saturday, it was do grocery shopping, have lunch, finish lunch, start streaming, get off streaming, shower, go to my sister's house, and that was my whole Saturday. Hola, Senor Atomic. Hola, Senor Hexic. Happy Rosenrot. Hello, how are you doing? I like your name. It has happy in the name. Enemy manager equal value. Fantastic. Look at that. Wait a minute. Oh, I spelled it wrong. 90% of my use case. Why is stuff not working? Oh. Reload. Let's see if this works. Wasn't there a bug? There was a bug somewhere, wasn't there? Yeah, there's one or two of them. You're still unhappy with me for some reason. I don't know why. Let's just do that. Why are you so unhappy? Okay, now you're happy, but actually not happy. So if I go and I add the for declaration for you, so that's enemy manager, right? Are we using the enemy manager? That's the real question. So can I just forward declare it? If I go F10, what are we doing with the enemy manager? It's just never used. But that's the base enemy, right? I've classed in an hour. Are you doing that other lesson that you're supposed to do yesterday? Oops. Let's move that back. That's the one. Nice. Come on, baby. We can do it, Unreal. Just stop, Unreal. Just disconnect. Just not Unreal, Microsoft. Every now and then, Microsoft, I need you to just not, right? You get it? You get me? Okay, so do we have an enemy manager now? Technically we do. Enemy manager. We've got a set enemy manager, but we don't actually have access to the variable blueprint. U property blueprint visible. How do we make it blueprint? What is it? Move out early September next year. The second I get an internet connection, I'm going to set up a Cloudflare tunnel or tailscale something so I can access my shit from anywhere. Nice. I just shut down my current proxy because my ISP got mad. Really? Why? Blueprintable. Wait, hold on. Just delete that. Because it was commercial use case on a personal connection. So how did they find out that it was that? Was it like too much data traffic, or was it that certain ports were being hit? Just so I know for myself. Oh, I know why. This is private. This needs to be protected. And I hate that this is set up this way. So we go... That can be up there. Property. There we go, and let's restart. Probably traffic patterns, and that I was saturating my upload. Only have 60 megabits upload. But like saturating it for how long? Like all the time, or just every now and then? Because the reason I'm asking is like, for you, if you've got 16 megabit, like there is, I don't know, there's a theoretical maximum that you can download in a month or upload in a month, right? So I'm just gonna log into my router now and see what I've used in the last month, for just like as an example. Why is this enemy type max? Unreal, you do some weird things, you know that. Also, the fact that like people say there's this whole debate, Visual Studio versus Rider for Unreal Engine development. Look at this. It tells me where stuff is used inside my blueprints. This is phenomenal. It's so helpful. Oh, why does Unify need me to log in all the time? Of course it's me, Mr. President. Where is Unify gone? So, where do we have it? So in the last day, Hexic, I've used 331 gigs. Debate. Rider's obviously best for UE and Unity. I like you because you're correct. Yes. Which programming language is this? It's C++. The debate is I don't wanna. Actually, yes, that's what I get from a lot of people. It's like I don't want to switch. And we've had this discussion at work with people. It's like just use Rider instead. It's like no, but I've used Visual Studio for like 30 years. I'm not gonna be able to figure out how to do this. It's like just ask someone that uses Rider. They technically can't stop me from doing it because of consumer rights and stuff, but they can throttle my speed and refuse service, which I don't want to happen. Fair. It's like, so I will get Rider, thanks. Yay, boom. Are you back? How's your day going, buddy? It's going really well. How's your day going? What have you been up to? Doing anything fun? I've been trying to go slow, full mouseless development, like Alt plus number key are a game changer. I need to start doing that. The amount of people have said the way your speed in an IDE becomes so much faster if you just basically take a day where you don't touch the mouse. Alt 1 for project view and Alt 2 for quick comment. It's something that I've been meaning to do, is just take a day where I don't touch the mouse when I do development and try and figure out what all the shortcut keys that I need to do are. Like one of the game changers for me was just being able to know the quick switch between header and C++ file. Like being able to just press F10 and it switches like that. The other and my favorite feature, I don't even know if Visual Studio has this, is if you select a variable and you press Alt F7. Okay, there's only one instance in here, so that wasn't helpful. But if I go enemy type, let's try enemy type, Alt F7. There's this little window at the bottom here, and this is someone at work taught me this. So it shows you where it's used and where it's set, but the key difference, so there's the green arrow and the red arrow. The green arrow means it's gotten from somewhere, and the red arrow means where it's actually set. And when you're looking through like a program where this variable appears, let's say 150 times, and you need to find that one instance where it's being set, and you do this and it just goes, oh, and you're like, ah, thank you, finally. Go to definition hotkey is nice to have as well. Yes, it is. Also, super dumb thing. Do you know Alt plus arrow is the tab switcher? I do now. Thank you for that. I don't use that one very often. I usually use Alt plus tab to then shift between the ones that I want. And I know by default, if I press Alt tab, it goes to the previously opened one. Shift for literally typing anything you want. Yeah, shift is my favorite. When I first started coding, my first job, I used WebStorm as I was doing JavaScript. And I was like, okay, you know, cool new IDE. The more I used it, I was like, this shit is powerful. Like the stuff this thing can do. I was just like, I was sort of wowed. And then my next job was just Visual Studio, and going from WebStorm to Visual Studio, as much as Visual Studio Code is fine. It's pretty good, but that was a massive adjustment. So yeah, Hexic, I can see why you say, you know, they might throttle your speed and all that, because they could just turn around and say to you, you know, you're using too much. I don't even know why I'm using as much data as I'm using, but apparently this month, or in the last 30 days, I've used just under 4 terabytes of data. Actually, 5 terabytes. Go to hotkey definition. You mean middle click? Hotkey definition? What does middle click do? What did that do? I love alt click plus clicking on a variable to go to the thing. That's very helpful. To be fair, they shouldn't be allowed to. Even if they're going to sell me the speed, they should expect me to use 100% of that 100% of the time. There is some, I remember back in South Africa, there was something called a fair use policy that they would apply. So even in an unlimited, uncapped line, there was like I remember, because I used to get nailed by this all the time, is they took sort of the average that your road used, and my road had a bunch of people that didn't use much internet, so I was almost like the top user in the road, so I would always get throttled. I moved off of them very quickly. There was the 1 month I used 5 gigs of data, and they started throttling me already, and I was just like, nah, I'm out. Granny shift, not double clutch like you should. What? Shift. I call double clutch like Fast and Furious. Yes, okay. That makes sense. Shift was the first thing I used. The problem with it is, if I try and use another editor, I try and do that and it doesn't work. The issue I have now with Visual when I switch is, there was some, I can't remember what it was. I was writing code in, I had to write Python code the other day for something. I can't remember why, but I was writing Python code. And I was doing, and I literally looked for, I had to look up, is there a way that I can actually just write Python code in Visual Studio, in Rider, because I was so annoyed by it. It was like a function, I don't even remember what it was. It was, oh yeah, if you go like this, pool manager dash this, hold on, I need to actually spell it right, otherwise it can't find it. So that, I'm used to pressing tab to accept something, but in Visual Studio, if you press tab, it does something else. I can't remember what it was, or Visual Studio Code. And trying to unbind my brain hotkeys to that was not easy. Oh, what was it? Go to a place where you have multiple occurrences of the same variable. Alt Shift plus is add new occurrence to this selection. Love that. What? Wait, multiple occurrence of the same variable. Multiple, like this. Alt Shift plus. Wait, plus. Oh, Alt Shift plus that key. Oh, that just changes the size for me. Alt Shift. Am I actually pressing the right key? Alt Shift this. Where's the hotkeys? Multiple Oh, I know what you mean. You mean, I think it's J for me. Is it J? Is it K? I always forget the key. That's funny enough. That's one of the keys that I know from Visual Studio, which is, I think Alt D. Multiple occurrences. What is it? Where's the hotkeys? Key bindings. Multiple occur. Not what I want. Multiple.
This is the future.
Not what I want either.
Evolution.
Occur. Find next occurrence. Select all occurrences. It's Control Shift plus L or Control so Control Shift L.
Evolution.
Okay, so Control Shift L goes to the next with the phrase that I have. That's actually super. So if I just select manager, it'll just take me to whatever has manager. Okay. And then Alt Shift L. No. Control Shift L. No, that's not the one. Oh, it's edit, find, add selection for next occurrence. Edit, find, add next selection. Okay. Edit. Settings. Occurrence. Select all. What's select next occurrence? Select Alt J. Is that what I want? Alt J. The problem I have with this Alt J is I want to select the variable, not the phrase, but I think there's a way to do that as well. Let's see. Occur. I spelled it wrong. I did. At word. Control F3. Control F3. Anyway. Control W. Every time you click, it selects the next outer scope.
Human error.
My Control W, maybe we might be using a different set. Mine selects up to the next. That's actually super helpful, because usually I do this, which is I hold Alt, no, not Alt. Oh, okay. For me, Alt plus the arrow keys moves to the next occurrence, but I can do Alt plus W to do the same thing, or a better version of that. That's nice to know. Using multiple, not what do you call it? Learning these shortcut keys makes such a big difference. It's slightly modified for ReSharp. Oh, okay, if you're using ReSharp, because I'm using, I think, IntelliJ, which was the default that came with Rider. The nice thing about using the default that came with Rider is whenever I set up Rider, I never have to remember what it was that I set up. It's always there as the default. Also, for someone who changes Rider versions very often, if you want to use Rider, make sure you turn on syncing. Backup on sync is my favorite button, because what I didn't realize is without that on, what are you coding? I'm coding a Unreal Engine game in C++. I'm coding Unreal Engine using C++ and blueprints. So that's the underlying code, and then there's the engine. There we go. So handle enemy death. Oh no, that's because I need enemy manager. Did I not change that to be blueprint usable? What? Okay, let's start with it. What class am I in? Base enemy. So base enemy. This is protected. Edit anywhere. Technically, we don't want it anywhere. We want it visible anywhere. That's what I want. And then blueprint read only. That one. Save, and let's restart the engine. Extend selection is Control plus W. That was weird. It goes from word to entire line. You've made me just you just remind me, I need to go make a list of like the shortcuts that I need for Rider, have that on my desk, or like staple it to my screen. Not really, but you get what I mean. And just start using those. I actually had a whole bunch that I wrote in the back of my notebook. Let me see if this is even the right notebook. Oh, it's not. Interesting. Is this one? Independent variables. Let's sort of that one. Why is coding so hard? Because it requires a lot of practice. So I find, like Energy Clip, I find the coding isn't difficult per se. It's architecturing the code that I find difficult. Because I think most code is fairly simple. Well, not simple, but it doesn't. Most code is okay to write. I don't really struggle too much with the writing of the code. But I find what I struggle with is how to correctly architect that code. I'm not sure if anyone else has a similar opinion. But you've also got to be, I think with code, code and sort of software engineering is one of those things where you've really got to be continuously learning, especially sort of also game dev as well. The more you learn, you got to sort of like keep learning. Also, it's like an art. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Code itself is straightforward. It's all about the it goes a lot out of hand. Yes, exactly. The coding is, there's two kinds of architects: deliberate and lazy brain. I'm finding I must say, I find the architecting side very interesting. It's a hard one to wrap around in the sense that when you're so used to writing code in a particular way, trying to think almost architectural first or data driven first in some cases is a big change. So enemy manager. There we go. Get enemy manager, which is technically not a get, but that's interesting. So I've just realized what Unreal Engine's doing, which never occurred to me, or what I think it's doing. So if you make a variable here and we do this, it is doing the same thing. In C++, if I want to get this variable, I don't have to call, get that variable name. I just say that variable. But in C++ or in Unreal Engine blueprints, it seems what this does, or the visible anywhere, is it wraps it in a getter. So if we go back to Unreal Engine, you'll see that when I type in enemy manager now, there's the get, but I'm guessing if I make it blueprint read write, I'll then have the ability to call set enemy manager. So it makes getters and setters that must communicate from the blueprint side to the C++ side. I think. We'll see. I can't explain this, but people who know you've been bitten in the butt enough that you get a spidery sense, the kind of instinct avoid doing things in such a way. Yes, I know what you mean. I'm trying to like develop that more, but because you kind of can't almost pinpoint what you're trying to train, I think the best word for it is just experience. So my method is like pseudo architecture, where I design things in a way they can be easily be extended or augmented. Yeah. The chaotical, I think that's how we say that. Thank you very much for the follow. How are you doing today? Are you working on anything game dev related? Sorry, I've been distracted slightly. I've been trying to get this variable to call this function for like... That actually works. I've been trying to get this variable to call this function for like 30 minutes now. It hasn't been through a lack of trying, it's just the conversation was quite thrilling. I love when stuff just works like that. There's no ways this is gonna work, right? Does this work? There's a problem with this, I suspect, and I haven't checked. And I'm guessing one issue now is that the handle enemy death, as much as it will be called, I don't think is actually returning anything correctly to the... Is it returning any... Okay, is it returning anything to the pool? Well, no, it can't be, right? Oh, I hate that that works out. The bad beat handbook. Lol. That's the poker term for it. Ah, okay. So this is now calling... I think we need to rewrite this function now. And the reason why we want to rewrite this function, let's see. Does this give an error? It shouldn't. Oh, there's an error here. Yes. This has the error. This is giving an error. Sorry about that, please. You can always reset the value of a variable directly. However, it's best recommended to create functions to act like getters and setters. You can create a ufunction blueprint callable to set the function as a ufunction blueprint call pure to get the value. With that, you can create a validation to keep the code safe. That's a good point, actually. Because usually what I do when I'm not going to modify the variables, I just call it like this. But I guess there's no reason why... Is there a reason? Cool. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Okay, so in my code, for that one, we've got the enemy manager is that. What might... Do I want to... There could be a better way of doing that. I'm not going to implement that yet. I'm not going to do that now. Let me fix this other piece first. Wait, this should be... why are you upset? Why are you upset? Yeah, you're upset because of that, but you should not run anymore. Get unused enemy. Yeah, we need to move this to blueprints. Ben, hello, Fortnite friend. How are you doing, Ben? Sounds like a seagull invasion. Error. Sorry. This has the error. This is giving an error. Sorry. I see what you mean. The NVIDIA broadcast is doing an okay-ish job at trying to remove the sound from the background. So it's making it sound more like a seagull, but that was... I'm glad to know it isn't as loud as it's coming through my window. That's always good. I feel like at some point someone's going to pin down where I am just based off of how many police are always traveling around. So this, is this being called? Let's see. To start Set enemy is active is true. Why is that null? What did I change? Request enemy of that type. We get the pool. Is... How can you be null? Pooldies. Pooldies what, Maris? Pooldies nuts? Is that what you're gonna say? Is that what you're gonna come here and say to me? Not much to pin down, given you live on an island. I mean, fair. I live on an island with lots of crime. Lots of crime. There was a fire engine this morning. I always like to say, shit's on fire, yo. I think we all know what kind of time, what time it is. It is install Rider time. Are you finally installing Rider? Are you installing Rider version 2502? Is it? Hold on, there's a new version out, isn't there? 25221. Install 25221. Yeah, yeek. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. Thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Welcome. If I get the new layout, I will become the saddest man in existence. What new layout? Don't you like my layout? I have the best layout. That's fine there. What was I checking? Why did I restart Unreal? Oh, because I wanted to see why that crashes. So let's press play, start. So available pool is... They're all null. Well, I mean, that might be the problem. That is because of you. So, why are you returning null? Restart again. Seems like it. They had a layout change a couple years ago, which sucked. Looked like I installed the Mac version. How did you install the Mac version on Windows? Marius, why? Why would you do this? Like it looked like? It wasn't actually... Oh, looked like. Okay. I just read you installed the Mac version and I was just sad. I was sad, Marius. Because you could have used Xcode instead. The world's best coder. Or code editor. What are you doing in Unreal? What are you doing in Rider? And if the answer isn't Unreal Engine, I have questions for you. I wasn't actually. Aw, that's just sad. Infecting Windows with Mac. Okay, so we get the index, we spawn an enemy, which is currently null, so we go into that. We go, do we have a pool data? No. Why would it do that? Why have you set that up like that? No. No, 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 no. No. Well, I know what the issue is. It's because I'm an idiot, but that's besides the point. God damn it. enemy class dot find. Actually, wait. Why is that is pool data enemy class that we don't actually need. That we need. That we don't need. Finally on a proper computer. Oh man, not affiliated, but on the subject of indie dev, at an absolutely massive collection of Humble Bundles right now. Oh really? Do you have a link for that? Well, right now it looks like it's my time to make a functional enemy pool. BRB. He comes back and he's already implemented. I'll be sad. Will that be able to? That won't work. Are you coding a tower defense game? I am. In Unreal Engine with blueprints and C++. The mech pack alone is worth. I need robots for my game, so it wasn't so it was perfect. Do you have a link to that? I need that. Sounds like I might need that collection. Let me check. So you said on Humble. Just posted it. Did it not let me? Not actually sure if YouTube does allow it. Maybe YouTube doesn't allow it to be posted. There's a circuit one that I'm considering getting. Because there's a few books in here that I actually wanted to get. It's 8 days left. How long have you been at it for? Is it a personal project or something that will be available for the public play? It will be available for the public at some point, probably at some point next year. At the moment, it's just a personal project that I've been working on for the last over a year at this point. I'm guessing this is the one. Those bundles are annoying because I cannot buy them. Oh, why can't you buy them? This looks like it. Interface, simple military, mech pack. Yeah, that's it. I'll put it in the chat for everyone. I cannot not. Oh, cannot not buy. Right, I get it. This one's quite good. Welcome back. Did you finish writing your enemy pool? Stop that. Do that. $30 to get the whole pack. It's not bad. It really isn't. Because what's it? If I do, you'll get 3 items. You'll get all 17 items. Okay, so it's £26.37. Mech plus Apocalypse HUD, I would say easily pay 50 for each. But it's about 70-90% done. Ah, nice. Good job, Maris. Oh god, not all them assets. You need the assets. Buy all them assets. You move the enemies away from a character. No, I implemented a new character system. No, yeah, yes, I did. The enemies are all actors now, or pawns. Oh, the actors or pawns? They're all actors now. They're all actors, and they have three. They currently just have three animation states that they can have. So I have this set state here, which is hidden. We hide it. Walk. We set the walking animation. Dead. We set the dead animation, and attack. We set the attack animation. That's it. So yeah, there's no character movement component. There is no any other thing. I think the heaviest part of the component that this actor at the moment is the skeletal mesh, and I'm just going to leave that for now. Like, yeah. I do a lot of pro gen, so it's like having a little bit of kit bash too. I'm not a visual artist by any means, but I can't procedurally Frankenstein like I can procedurally Frankenstein like a oh god. Nice. So this bundle I quite like. There's this bundle, which I'm also considering. The only issue with this bundle is I prefer having physical copies of this stuff, especially these types of books, which is why I'm considering not getting it, which is a bit of a pain. Like, I really enjoy having the physical, like, copy of the book on my desk, because I've got so many books on my desk at the moment, and I just want more. There's a few of these that I want to see if I can get my work to get for me, potentially. Oh, a circuit kit. Dope. This one looks super cool. I'm very keen to get this one. It's just because it looks nice, basically. Got virtual breadboarding for Arduino. I want to get the Arduino one as well. Inside the machine, maybe. In theory, I could probably get my work to ask my work if they could buy this whole set kit for me, which I might do. I'll see if my boss is in tomorrow and I'll speak to him about it. The thing is, I like having books, so I have books all over the place at the moment. I have so many books on my desk, or actually, how many do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. Reading books. Reading books is fun. Ben, if you don't like reading books, maybe you're just reading the wrong books. Nice boss. Do you do embedded stuff for work or just nice boss? I don't do embedded stuff for work, technically. I deal with a simulator that does have Arduinos in it, which is why it might be probably beneficial for me to learn a bit more about it. I got sidetracked again. Yeah. Books are awesome. Oh, on your point before about getting setters, as far as I recall, the Unreal Engine tool generates getters and setters no matter what. That's what it uses to bind to the C++. Yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. Books are awesome. I agree. I don't read. All I need is Twitch. Fair. I will read the books to you. Did that work? Yeah, it did work. Sweet. So that should create my enemy. That there. And that should return an enemy and should no longer be null. Okay, it's still null, but hold on. Aha, there we go. Cool. So that's generated. So press play. So there. So now, I don't know why it's in full screen. I don't remember asking it to go, oh, because it launched from side the blueprint, whatever. Oi! What, Ben? What? What you want, boy? Come at me. The macro changes the XS and modify for the blueprint. Yeah, makes sense. Macros are so good. Oh, I like your blocks, boy. Oh, they're technically... Wait, have I... You've been here this entire time and I still haven't actually shown you my game. So this is the game. This is the blocks. Josh, hello. How are you? I'm pretty good. Are you? Are you listening to some funk there? Yeah. So this is my game. This is what it looks like at the moment. If I press start, this might work. Let's see. Enemy is null, but we expect that. we go over that. So we get the latest one from the pool because the pool's not empty. We pop it, we set it as active, we add it to the in-use pool, and we return the enemy, and we press play. So in theory, that should just work. They're too close together because there's a bit of a bug. Oh, I need to actually kill them. Right. You won't be able to place towers at this thing. Okay, that gets called. Fantastic. Does it do everything it needs to do? Next, next, next. How big is this array? There's 9 enemies in it. Fine. So F9. Resume. Okay, they get absolutely destroyed. That Fortnite mode is really fun, isn't it? We keep winning all the time. It's really cool. You just come in here and win all the time. Nice to hear it, Josh. Have you played OMD yet, Siler? What is OMD? Are you doing simple sort of spline-based pathfinding, or is it just nav mesh? So this is... Let me actually show you. This is a spline that they all follow. So I've got this set of points that I set up, and then I have an actor that creates it. But if we just go underneath, here you go, there's the spline. So yeah, there's a spline that they follow. And then they follow it to the end, and then there's a path that I need set up at the end. Oh, Orcs Must Die? Yes, I've played Orcs Must Die 1, Orcs Must Die 2. I think Orcs Must Die 3 came out. Possibly. You won't have levels maps where you can build on the path and do amazing crazy stuff, right? No, unfortunately not. I have considered doing that at a later point. I found a way that will actually allow me to do that. Well, I've thought of a way that can actually do that. Which is basically... You can use a spline system for the same thing if you've got a good builder system for it. So what I mean by that is, if this is my spline, right, and we don't have these 4 blocks on placed, let me just put them there. Now that would be the shortest path. So what we would do is we would use A star, let me guess, yes. Well, what I was going to say is we use A star to figure out the path. We then set that as a spline. We then give that to all the actors, so they still don't need to use nav mesh to navigate. We just do it. We basically one nav mesh calculation for all of them, build the spline, and then that's it. I would have suggested that you dynamically build a nav mesh, do A star to path to find, trace the path to spline, nail it. Yeah, exactly that. The advantage of doing that way is you only have to do the calculation when you place a block. So the game sits in a state where if nothing's changed, the spline exists as is. When you place a block, we go, okay, now we need to rerun the nav find code. And when we do that, we know that we only have to run it once, and then all the AIs, because they're all tracking along the spline, it just like works. Yeah, exactly. A really good way of being able to use A star for dynamic pathing systems. What I'm going to do for now is keep this way, keep it implemented in this particular way, and at a later point, what I might do, maybe as a DLC, it just works out of 2025, exactly. Maybe as a DLC or something, I'll add a bunch of more maps where you can actually build. But at the moment, I want to keep it static as it is, get this finished, because it needs to get done. Yeah, because it's a path, the path is static. So I think it's a cool idea for tower fence to add terrain manipulation as an additional mechanic. Yeah, I agree, and I wanted to do that from the start, but it wasn't working well. I have a question about pathfinding. I'm curious if you know. Tiles and cells. Why does Unreal have both? I don't know. Marius might know. Marius, do you know? Tell me, how do you do the pathfinding? I want to make Orcs Must Die 12. Pathfinding is just throw down a nav mesh, tell the AI that you want to move from A to B, and then get the result. Unreal uses a hierarchical AI, a star system. the tiles are local, the cells are another step up. Ooh. It seems like the cells are topographical and the tiles are like an octree. So yeah, like Mary said, the tiles are local and the cells are another step up from that. He spent some time building an A-star algorithm that was similar to how Unreal Engine's one worked, but it was like super efficient. It might be worth revisiting that at a later point, Marius, for if we have a dynamic system built in. Oh look, you got re-onboarded. Congratulations. I see the cells handle the adjacent edge case for the tiles. Yeah. It's to save performance when you want to move over large distances. That makes sense. I'd somewhat configured the nav mesh to actually work where, because I didn't want the nav mesh to, because if you use a nav mesh system on this, you just draw this. What often happens, depending on how you've got your grid cells set up, is it'll take this as the shortest path, because it technically is. But I almost needed a block version of that where it was trying to get to the middle of each cell. So what I wanted it to do, and I kind of got it, I got it half working, I didn't get it fully working, is I wanted to follow the middle line and have it try and get to more this position and then turn this position and then turn, which is kind of longer. The only reason the I imported is so fast is because it just raw A-star native C++. Unreal tries to fit all best scenarios, so it's slow because of it. Right, okay. Because this is what I wanted to do with the whole A-star system. And then there. Which if I have a look at it again, I might actually be able to figure out this time, because I've learned a bit. You got to set it up like with those things. I was just taking notes on this. So from what one of the things I changed is I changed like the grid cell size. So I made it like a lot bigger. So I think like, for example, it like protruded out to this point from any object that was placed. So it made like the path it had to follow much more refined. Nav mesh filters, you could put high cost nav mesh filters on inside corners. Oh, I didn't think of doing that. That's actually a good idea. But yeah, I'll reinvestigate that at, at some point. Not now. Alt G. Okay, so now it seems Notepad now natively supports Markdown. Oh, that's interesting. I think I use Obsidian for my Markdown at the moment. Shout out to Obsidian. Wouldn't have found that term if I wasn't using it as a brain dump. Fair enough. What are you considering, Sada? What do you mean? Well, I'm considering using that A-star system for a dynamic lane system, pathing system, but that will be later on once I've actually finished making the rest of the game. Because remember, originally I had it where you could actually place blocks and it would affect the path. But I'm going to go with the single spline system for now, implement that, get all that working, and then I'll look into that at a later point. What I wanted to check now is it returning them to the... Also, I remembered making an entire portfolio for your game to test that specifically for you, just to throw it in the mud and stomp on it. It was the saddest I've ever been. I'm sorry, Maris. I will have to make it up to you at some point. 0 out of 10 TripAdvisor. I enjoy Silo Atomic Studios. Maybe. What do you want to work on? What do you want to work on, Ben? Ben Atomic. So what I need to fix now is the fact that I only ever spawn X number of enemies and never spawn more than those X number of enemies. I suppose what we could do is to see that this is working. Because remember we had this whole in here. Who handles spawning at the moment? Oh, it's this. That can't be this. Spawn count. Is it this? Is it this? So what happens if I do 20? I'm sorry, do you not allow me? Oh, I don't know. I didn't have numpad on. If you feel sad about babies dying in game dev, I recommend you watch Rocky 4 on repeat. If he dies, he dies. About this movement, there's a few ways to solve this. One, you can increase the nav mesh radius to try avoid the corner borders and keep the enemy on the center using waypoints, just like you used to. Or you can use an entire movement system using the spline without any nav meshes. So at the moment I'm using just the entire movement system is just the spline like we currently have. Since you're running C++ without problem, you can create a custom nav mesh area with the high cost on the bound borders, so the enemies will avoid it. Yeah, I'll look into it at some point possibly. Can I join the Silent Atomic Studio too? I could be one who makes the tea, coffee, and serves and biscuits. That sounds great. I could go with some tea right now. Hired immediately. Welcome aboard. We can offer 0 pay, no pension, but a good amount of good time. The way that makes more sense is movement by spline in your gameplay, probably. Yeah. Also, it's a lot cheaper. So much cheaper. Not the whole level, rather. I just mean the spawn. Wait, spawners are great for gas candidates. Implement it once, you can save your levels as a asset variant. Oh, interesting. Not the whole level, but rather the spawn community. Yeah. You start immediately, Ben. Immediately. The more elegant way would be a custom nav area, but it appears to be a bit of bullshit to write more code. Also, it will make development faster. I can't remember what I was doing. Oh, we're trying to spawn enemy of type A. I need to see if I have I suspect I'm actually not returning it into the pool. Whoops. So let's see if I go place those down. I love that it still reduces the cost even though there's no value. In the case spines seem more elegant. Most elegant in my opinion is a mixture of minimal implementation and a maximum performance. The spines do work very well for this. I want to see, so I have 9 enemies. Let's see if that increases, it means that I forgot. Yeah, whoops. I never return them back to the pool. We do that, then I think what we need to do is go enemy pool. Do we have access to the pool here? Minions want to go in the pool as well. Well, you can do that. Return to what do I have in the C++? Got a pool manager. We've got handle enemy death. We've got a request enemy. Oh, we don't actually have a thing. Control C, V. What did I call it in this one? Create new. Return enemy to pool. Request enemy, return enemy. And that's going to be a void because we're not going to return anything. It's going to take a enemy base like that. Then that will just call this return to pool, and I believe you do just take enemy base. Just call it enemy at this point. That like that. We save, restart the engine. Splash, splash, baby. Sada, can you take me through the logic of your code you're writing right now? I'm not sure if you actually mean it, Marius, or you're just trolling me. It's hard to tell. Would it make sense to just have a pool enemy base class so the spawner can tell it what pool to return to? Then it knows what to do when it dies. You mean it? I don't know if you mean it, Marius. Do you mean it? Well, time to get back to work. Do you always stream this hour? I like to watch some game devs before work. I generally stream Saturday, Sunday. I'm usually on about this time both days. Good luck with your work. Thank you for stopping by. I hope it goes well. I have no idea how you set up your code, so I don't know why. I don't know why I'm asking. Fair. Because it seems like you're spawning each enemy when they get requested the first time, and then add them to the pool for reuse. So yes, sort of, Marius. At the moment, I have no way of telling the pool, because I've just started with it, what enemies it needs to expect. So what I'm doing at the moment is, when we initialize the pool, we're just creating 10 of a particular type of enemy, which is just enemy type A. Then when we do a request for one, we either return one of those that's already marked as unused, or we create a new one. So the reason you saw, I'm not sure if you saw in when I clicked play here, the first 10 already existed, but after we went above that number, it started adding more. So I don't restrict it from adding more. It can always add more enemies. But yeah, so the other part is that I have this struct that I'm using. This one, which is the type and the enemy pool data, and all that basically is a pool that's in use and an available pool. I'm not actually using these at the moment, and that's so that I can keep. Thank you, Tempting, for the fart. I appreciate that. This way, when one's in use, they basically just switch between the two arrays, so that I don't have to physically go and say, for example, from the available pool, what I didn't want is to have, let's say, 10 enemies, and then have to loop through each one to find out, is one of them actually free? Instead, what I wanted was two separate ones, one in use, one not in use. The in use ones get returned by using a remove swap. Remove swap, which what that does is it does. Remove swap works by it removes the index removes the item at the index and then swaps the last element in, so it doesn't have to shift the array. And then what else? The available pool just pops the last one off and returns it. So yeah, and then if there isn't any in that, which is somewhere over here. So if it's empty, then if it isn't empty, we pop. Otherwise, we create a new one and return it. That was a lot of talking for a lot of explaining for not sure if anyone even followed that. It makes sense in my head. Does that help you? Probably not. Temtic, how are you doing today? Did you just crop dust us, Temtic? Did you just come in, fart, and then just immediately leave? Yes. Sick. Big brain man. So Marius, does it give you a stamp of approval, or is it all wrong and you're just gonna come in here, pull the branch, rewrite it while I go to sleep tonight? Wake up tomorrow and nothing makes any sense. You see at the moment, here we've got 10 enemies. Because I actually haven't shown you this, Marius. We've got 10 enemies. I press F, there they are. I need to move them. No, it's all wrong. Not all wrong, just a bit overcomplicated. Oh, okay. Not all wrong. That's good to know. I got one part right. I got one part right, yay. So here's my enemy. It's spawned. It exists. There is a small problem with it at the moment, which is that I can't get the animation to stop playing, which is a bit annoying. So if I go to the skeletal mesh and I go visible, visible, the animation is still playing, which is really annoying. Oh wait, I've lost him. Wait. Why can I not see this enemy? Did I change the wrong one? Visible, visible, visible. Is it that one? There it is. It's still playing, which makes me sad, because it's not good. Yeah, so if we press play now, you'll see I need to actually... I need to build. I need to build so much. Oh, I've got so many stuff. So how many did it spawn in total there? It spawned 19. I call bullshit. So it did not return to the pool. Did I? Wait, but did I call the code that tells it to return to pool? No, I didn't. Oh, that's why it wasn't working. I will be right back while we have the ads. David! Turbo rules, man. Turbo's the best. Turbo! So funny enough, one of the reasons I have turbo is one thing I don't like about Twitch is if you raid to someone and they've got pre-rolls off, you will automatically, as you've raided, get an ad, so you just miss anything that happens with the raid. So because of that, I got super annoyed and was like, no, you know what, I'm just gonna have turbo. And I can kind of justify it because of the amount that I do watch on Twitch. It's one of those weird days today in the UK. It's just pouring down with the rain. What's that? There we go. Okay, so now the pool should work correctly. I had YouTube Premium, cancelled that, then realized I can redirect my subscription to Twitch, which I'm on most of the time. Fair enough. I don't know. There's something. I've never had YouTube Premium. Like at some point, I don't know. I don't know if I don't really want to get YouTube Premium. Okay, let's try that out. So if I click start now, we've got 10 enemies and we should never get more than 10 because they should be returned to the pool. I mean, they're barely getting out of the start. Yeah. Yeah, that worked. So the pooling is working correctly for that particular type of enemy, which is nice. You can actually skip YouTube ads. So what's the point of premium? You could, I find some you can skip, some you can't. I usually watch things with an ad blocker on most devices, which is why I was like, meh. Can I sell these and get money? Oh, I can. Sweet. That's so broken. Can I select more than one? No, I can't. Yeah. I need to assign these to hotkeys. I actually don't know if any of this tower data is actually correct. It's been so long since I looked at it. It's actually one of the features I need to get working is for my enemies, or my towers, I need to get not the enemies, what would you even call them? The towers sort of linked properly again. Wait, what was that error when I pressed play? So loaded new style, which is a bit of a bug, because it shouldn't load new style, there should only be one style. So BP electric tower missing upgrade data table. So if I click this and I click upgrade, of course it's missing the upgrade data tower. It thinks it's a gun tower. Is that because if I do this and then click this and click upgrade? Okay. That's something I still need to look at. Okay, so that's fixed. So we can return enemies correctly to the pool, which is actually super exciting. Let's actually commit that. So enemies, enemies can be turned to the pool. something I want to do. Let's just check. No, I'm not going to do it yet. I'll do it later. So what's next? So we've got the ability to be able to create a single enemy of a particular type and its pool. Well, actually, we've got the ability to create any enemy of any type inside the pool, but we don't have the ability to switch that. So, I mean, we could check that, but I mean, based on how the array works, if it works for the first one, it should work for all of them. It might be a good experiment now to start looking at how I want to handle the level stuff, or should I call it the waves? Maybe that may be a better one. So wave grouping. That might be another option that we can look at. So if we close that, we open that. Okay, so we've got Rocky Mountain. Oh no, we don't need that. That's closed. Because if we look at the C++ code, we've got request enemy, return enemy to pool. So I think as far as the pool manager is concerned, unless we want to have more specific stuff, I think the only thing that's really left for this entire class is to change this part, which is that we pre-allocate some amount when we start the wave. So let's sort of add a comment here for now. So at some point we need to be able to pre-load some of the enemies that we are expecting during the wave. This would need to come from outside this class, possibly from the spawn manager or wave manager, something like that. You spell at some point, because that would solve. Yeah, because at the moment we're hard coding load 10 enemies, which we don't need. There's an argument for potentially loading an amount of each enemy, but it's wasteful. Because if we're not going to have them, then, you know, don't. The ideal situation would be something where we've got a set of enemies that are going to spawn. And what we would do is look at that and determine what we need. Then when we start the next wave, kind of get a bit of a gauge for what we're expecting in that wave as well. So maybe we kind of do that in the background between waves, because we need to allow. I need to sort of determine if each wave will have a build phase. Does that make sense? So will we go wave 1 build phase, wave 2 build phase, or we do wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is a pause wave, and then build phase. Are you doing the epic mega jam, Amaris? I think it's a big one this year. It's like the 7th or 10th year for it, isn't it? Are you doing it, Ben? 10th. Okay, so it's a very big one. Maybe see what happens. How long is it? So I want to draw this in a bit of a different way. So we've got a level. I'm up in. One week. Oh, wow. I'm guessing it has to be done in Unreal Engine. Kind of funny if it doesn't. Actually, I expect Unreal Engine in Fortnite. They have a lot of categories for wins. UEFN is one of them. I mean, that does make sense. Epic is pushing quite hard these days with the UEFN. I hate that shit. All the game modes are ass kick.
See it on my face. I made up my mind. Not another day. You're on borrowed time. Let me get away. Yeah, I'm running. Yeah, I'm running. So love me or leave me. I'm standing alone. Can't shake a feeling that lives in my bones. Lie to me, tell me you wish that you could, but nothing you gave me is worth what you took. 'Cause baby, when I'm gone for good.
I played one this morning with Josh. The match started and I won. I didn't even move. I just won. What kind of bot games do you guys join? I need to join these games. Don't know what kind of bot lobbies you guys are in. I think that's how we'll do it. So every level has... So we have a level. Level has 1 to n waves. And then each wave is 1 to n spawn groups. Not a FN game, it was a UEFN game mode. I mean, that makes it super easy then. I made a map where what you had to do is kill a bunch of, you had to kill like 40 zombies and then collect some stuff and then you win. That was it. That was the entire game. As one of the creative ones. I also discovered that because I was wondering how, you know, XP works in creative mode, and what seems to happen is you get XP for playtime, so you get about 6,400 per minute, regardless of if it doesn't give you XP, basically. So if the map is set up but hasn't had enough iterations or plays to be able to have XP, Epic will give you XP based on the amount of playtime, which seems to be about 6,400 XP per hour per minute, which is a substantial amount. Like when our last looks was 6,400, which is what, 60, so it's like 380k an hour. So the enemy manager should the enemy manager handle, okay, what is the enemy manager's role? I'm just actually asking myself, what does it do? For some reason it knows about tower types. That doesn't make any sense. And it knows about the spawned enemies. Okay, not sure that makes sense. Handle enemy death, request enemy, return to pool. So this would probably be the best place to handle spawning of said enemies, right? Yeah, we would start spawning what we needed for the worst wave. Ideally, we would get spawn X. I think this is where we're going to do this. So let's create this new struct. Is this used anyway? Alt F7. So it's not used anyway, it just exists. So don't understand why we need this. Let's just Google it. I'm not Google, but let's like check the project to see, do we have it listed anywhere? I'm not open asset. How do you find it anywhere? Find Control F. That's like Control P, Control Space, Control Alt F. Find usage. If I go find by name and then I do this, enter, and if I go find references by name all, do that, no results, so we can delete it. I mean, we technically need to just delete it. We can just go F enemy spawn group, generate body. What are we going to have? Edit anyway, blueprint read write, yes. What would we want? I think this is going to be an entity, not a group. I guess we need to tell it what we want to spawn. Do we actually need to tell it what we want to spawn? Don't we just give it the type? Because there's no point keeping that if we already have it. So we would actually just want enemy type, and that would just be enemy type, right? Use struct needs to be given a default value, so the default value for this would be equal to this colon none, and it's unset. Need to actually check that. Then that we don't need. That means we don't need this. So at the core, this says to us, because I've called this enemy spawn group, which is actually misleading because it's not a spawn group. It's a spawn. Is it a spawn group? Maybe it should be an array. But then, interesting. So let's treat this as an entity. Let's call it that. So we would want that. We would want int32 count equal 1. So otherwise, there's no point. I would say it needs to be, I mean, what? A spawn interval. Int32 spawn interval. Let's make it 1 second. So the spawn, I'm going to add a note to this. This is the amount of time between each enemy being spawned, and then we also want to have an int32 I don't know, pre-group delay equal. These are actually, this should be dot f. This is the amount of time before the wave begins spawning. Note that spawn interval should be considered. Either we do pre-group and or just pre. I haven't implemented it, which is why I'm sort of giving myself a little, write down to sort of set up the struct with a bit of, ideas and that kind of stuff. Because if we go back to the design, what do we want? So almost what do we want in a spawn group? So spawn group must there's a spawn group, and then there's a spawn, maybe a spawn item is actually what we want to call it. We want that. Let's use a different color. Are there no more colors left? Purple, like a dark purple. Let's go like that. Then spawn item. So let's take the spawn item over here. There. This. That's a lot of complexity, but this could be really cool. Yeah, so if we take a spawn item, just leave that, make it the size. What is a spawn item going to consist of? Remember that a spawn group consists of multiple spawn items. So that's just going to be, make it a lighter color. The enemy type, the count, or amount, and what else do we want? Spawn item, enemy type, amount. What else would we need? What else do we need? I guess that's it. Like delay between. What did we call it previously? We called it spawn interval. Spawn interval. Right? So that's that. Put that over here. Then we have the groups. Which is going to be ban. T array. On items. And should they be? I mean, delay between. Okay, let's go. Spawn group delay. What could be cool is add an amount to it as well. Amount. Because then I can set up a group and I can just go because this would give me the ability to go, let's spawn A, B, right, A and B, and then A and B, and then A and B, and then A and B. Oh, I like that. I like this a lot. It would also give me the ability to do just a bunch of A, just a bunch of B, or just some other amount. Yeah, that'll work. Then what's next? Next is going to be
I thought I had it figured out. Believed in us.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A teenage love. Everybody else could see the way we
I wonder what's for dinner tonight.
living in a fantasy.
I'm hungry already. And some cider. Aw, you're too kind, Marius. You're too kind. Where's the tea? I don't know. I'll go make tea in the next break. Oh, it's so long to the next break. Where is the bubbles when I need the bubbles? Can I change the board color? What's the overcomplicated solution I'm looking at here? Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. It's just that. There you go. See, nothing. It's my wave spawning system. I have a spawn item, then I have a spawn set of groups, and then I have a spawn wave. I don't overcomplicate everything. No, I do. I definitely do. Do, 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 do. And then I would have amount, and I would have wave delay, and I would have if it's a build wave. Build wave. So a build wave is, I mean, I can just put here. This is when we wait for user to press ready before starting next wave. So if that's A and B, comma like that. This would be what would it be? It would be that, and then it would be CD or CD. There we go. Nice and simple. Marius loves simple stuff. F enemy spawn item. It's gonna be type mount. Man, I'm gonna be an old man when all this stuff is done installing. At least I'm on Rider Link now, so it should be very soon. Yes. So what are you busy working on, Chris? Like, you just getting your Unreal Engine project started up again? What are you going to be working on in Rider? I don't know, actually. Oh. It's more of an entry step. I feel like I don't know C++ anymore. I feel like you'll feel like that for a bit, and then all of a sudden it'll just like naturally click, and you'll be like, oh god, this shit's so good. Why did I ever end? Why did I ever leave it? Makes sense, right? Like C++ is not too bad. You just, you know, there's practice some more. And then it becomes super simple. And by no means do I think it's super simple. Well, the answer is... Well, the answer to that is to put food on the table. I mean, fair. I understand that. It's just a couple extra pulses. Pluses. Exactly. It's... You see, you've got... It's so simple. It's... You've got C. Okay, you got C. Then C didn't do what we wanted. So we're like, let's increase C. So we went C++. And then C++ didn't do what we wanted. So we took the C++ and we were like, what if we took the C's and we did that again? And then notice that that looks like something else, right? So we do C++ like that, it's starting to look like something else, which is, bam, C++, or C, do I have a thing? C sharp, because they're like fancy. There we go, the evolution of C. Oh, we got to where we are. So the next time someone says they use C sharp, just say you're using C quad plus. That's what I'm going to do. Those Unity developers using C quad plus. You gotta help me here. What am I looking for? I don't see sharp. It's C++++. Today, guys, we're gonna start learning C+++++. Wait till C double sharp comes out. Stevie, you said it just as I did. The next one will be C sharp sharp. And then it'll be C sharp sharp. And then C sharp sharp. Yeah, C sharp sharp will be the next one. And then it'll just be C quad sharp. And then I'll turn into a new thing, C flat and C dull flat. And we'll get all the options there. Where is C plus? That's a good point. Now you're asking the real questions here. I think they looked at it as when C plus was just standard C, and then they were like, okay, cool. And they didn't want 1 plus, because I mean, like, who wants to call a language C plus? And I was like, is that, you know, really as cool? Or maybe that was version like C 0. C version 1, which they didn't like. So, you know, like V1. How did I make a B look like that? So C++ is actually C version 2. Maybe that's why. Because maybe C was just version 1 and the C++ was version 2. And then C sharp, well, they got confused and just called it version 4 technically. So that means that C sharp is like version what, 8? 16? Technically 16. I think it's 16. So this is getting wildly out of hand very fast. You'll start getting into key signature next, C minor, C major. To be fair, they probably were just too lazy to rename the folder after typing an extra plus. I suppose technically it also has to do with the fact that you can do things like value plus and minus. I think maybe that had some, you know, some play in it. But maybe someone knows. Oi, invalid syntax. Oh, sorry, Marius. Are you happy? I'm surprised you're not complaining that I didn't initialize this variable as well. At this point, for the entire example, we're going to have initialized variables and everything. Good. Never assume anything resulted from actual logic. It's all really used. It's only really used fair. Excuse me, the language is actually called C++. A semicolon to end it. Expect thing found. The compiler jokes. All these compiler jokes. Now where was I? Oh yes, I was overcomplicating my systems. We had a blueprint read write. Back to the grindstone, exactly. Aren't you streaming in like 1 minute, Braxton, or is it half an hour? Were we making crazy progress? Technically, no. I got stuck. I need to actually be able to look at what I need to spawn next. In 1 hour, okay. Expected 1 argument, instead found bullshit. We want to float, spawn. Yeah, spawn chance. Spawn interval is equal to 1 second. So enemy spawn item, then F enemy spawn group. I'm working on background today. Ooh, exciting. That's with all the books. What else is in the background? There's books. I can't remember what else there was. So then we don't want this. We want that. Now we want a T array. My AI won't move. You won't move at all. What do you mean? What do you mean? Did you add a nav mesh? Did you add a nav mesh, Josh? When you press N, do you see your green nav mesh? Like this. This is super awkward. No, I didn't add a nav mesh. Then what were you expecting? Oh yeah, I did. Oh, okay, never mind. Without seeing your code, it's hard to tell. Did you assign the blueprint the AI thing? Yes, we have that. We are not in preschool. You know how many times I've seen that be the problem? Do you even know? Did you turn it off and on again? That's also very helpful. That What did that work on the other day? Oh right, Hexic was complaining about something on one of his server things that wasn't working, and he literally fixed it by going, turn it off, turn it back on. So it's going to be a T array of F spawn types. So spawned items. That works a lot on servers. Technical reset. It's just the server's way of telling you that it needs a, you know, it just needs a good old restart. We just don't get what's happening right now. This is the way we got the AI moving all this time. Now it's not working. Usually when the AI is not working, there's a piece not happening. So if you put is your Blackboard running, or you're just using an AI move to? We have an AI move to on the AI control event possessed event. Did you change inside your character to use that AI? I don't think I have a character. Enemy, so character. Player. That won't work. Third person. Nope. No, I forgot to do that, damn it. Yeah, I did do that. Oh, okay, lol. Oh yeah, AI controller class, you need to set that as well. That's the one that I usually forget all the time. Okay, that's done. Why are you on the same line? How dare you be on the same line? Got that pre-group though. That's the last one. I didn't add to this. Without being able to actually have a look at the code for you or sit with a screen share, it becomes a bit difficult. So I can possibly help you after my stream if you still need help. So we've got enemy spawn group, we've got spawn items, which is an empty array. We've got a count, we've got a spawn interval, a pre thing. Looks like Java, but definitely not Java. Probably a competitor of Java. Yes, it is a competitor of Java. It is C++, the end of Java. The C++ devs are coming for all the Java devs jobs. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Pre-group. What was I doing? Right. We've got an enemy item, so this. We've got the spawn item, we've got the spawn groups. Now we need to actually create the wave. And at some point I need to put this into a data table, but shh. Don't tell anyone. Let's make this. Why are you so... Why do you have to be so mad? Oh, because you have the same name. Where's the lamb sauce? Thank you for that, Josh. So then a wave consists of... what is this called? Wave. Enemy spawn wave. Enemy spawn item, enemy spawn group. Isn't an item? It's what's another word for a single? So not an item. So you've got like a group of things, and you've got a single. So what would I would have a group of these said things. Unit, spawn unit.
You're welcome, Sila. Colon closing parenthesis.
Thank you, Josh. Unit, enemy spawn unit. It's definitely better than item. Spawned units. Actually, in that context, it works. Definitely works better. Okay. Thank you, Braxton. Object. The problem with enemy spawned object. I live to serve. It confuses me because then, which is funny. Please, for the love of God, don't call it object. Oh, no, I'm definitely calling it object. Just F object, because boy, does that make the Unreal Engine devs mad. You can't do that. It knows. It knows. That's how you just control Unreal Engine. It's like, bro, no, no. What have I done? Why do Europeans work on C++, C#, Python, while not Java? Spring Boot, microservices? What do you mean? We use microservices. In fact, we use C++, C#, and Python. We use all three of those languages at my office. We even use JavaScript at work. Actually, the only one we don't use is Java. We use JavaScript. They're the same, right? Man, Stevie, you just made Unreal Engine very unhappy. Like, I haven't seen Unreal Engine this happy in a while, and I do a lot of dumb stuff with it. Right, so we've got that. Do that one next. So then we have a T array. It really does hate him. I mean, I do make it do stuff. Does it hate me? Or okay, it does hate me. It's because it's like, bro, how do you not know this yet? T array of spawn groups. This is the most nested thing ever. I don't know if this is good. Okay, I'm going to rephrase it. I know this is probably bad. But that's it. I think it hates everyone. Like, that could be true. Spawned units. Spawn groups. Technically that should be enemy. Spawn units. That sounds weirdly wrong. I'm going to call it spawn units and spawn groups. Spawn groups equal an empty struct. Okay, so then we can add count for this. Have I been using count? I've been using something else. Let's just call it spawn amount. Actually, I want amount instead of that. Amount. Duplicate, shift it down. Amount. It's going to be instead of 2. Could be in 16. Amount equal 1. Duplicate. That's going to be this. That's going to be that. That's going to be float wave delay. That's not like that. That's going to be 1F. Duplicate, move that down. And the last one is a Boolean, and that's going to be bulls wave equal false. And let's put the comment in for that, because I'm never going to remember this. Should we wait for the user to press the ready button before starting next wave? Yes. Yes, we want that. So that's what we have. Actually, this might be wrong. This might need to actually be a no, it's correct. It's fine. Is it right? Is it? Because we need a data table now. can never remember what the structure of the data table is. Hold on, where's my latest data table? F data table. The reason why the data table needs to exist outside of this class, actually I may need to move these somewhere else, is because I will set up the data tables per level. When we start the level, we'll fetch the data table for that level, and then we'll iterate through that and build. This will be something that continuously runs. Oh, another thing that we want them to possibly have, which I might implement now but not tell anyone about until later, is it's a path array, which is a bit of a weird one. Let's add it at the bottom here. So that's the type of enemy we want to spawn. And then maybe we do this at a higher level. So a set of units. I would do it at a high level. I would do a group of units follows a particular path. Do we want that? Because okay, the question we want to ask ourselves is, do we want the ability to have enemies coming from two separate lanes at the same time? Maybe. That might be very hard. Maybe. I'll be right back.
And you know how to forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head. It's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
I have returned. I don't know why I sang that, but let's not dive into that. Why is my phone off? There we go. We spawn the enemy units, we do the amount, we do that. We possibly want to have... It's okay. Only subs and turbo viewers heard it. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's a feature you didn't even know you were getting. Which is probably most of us, yeah. It's working now. No idea what happened. Just started working. You turned it on and off again, didn't you, Ben? That's what you did. It was definitely that. Turn it on and off. So, this is wrong. I'm going to add another U property. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I think this might be bad. We will see. We want that. We want that to be duplicated. Oh, not like that. We want our own one. We want one of these. And this is just going to be Actually, this is wrong. We don't want a struct. We want enum. Enum. Where is my other enum that I made? It's going to be path. Not a path ID, but like a, I suppose, a path ID. None. Path A. Path B. Path C. Path D. Path ID. And then you are going to be U property, and you're going to be a T-array array of path IDs, paths to follow. And I'll implement that later on. So this is just going to have a to do dash td implement multi path following. I guess that should have a dash there. No. So we got spawn unit, we got spawn group, spawn wave, and build wave. Okay, build wave. I think that's everything. If we go back to Unreal Engine now, we should have a, where do we actually handle like wave spawning? Spawner, do I have a spawner? Enemy star, enemy spawner. What does that do though? Create and spawn wave. Actually do have a spawn. Funny. So this gets a spawn queue. Where do we get the spawn queue from? I guess the queue isn't a bad way of doing it. You almost want to have like an array, technically a queue, but an array dual path thing with enemy time, enemy time, enemy time for the entire thing. So it reads in what we want, what it waits. I'm trying to make Optimus Die 12. My bad. My apologies, Ben. VP game mode. Start next wave or end comes into here. We get the wave number, we get that. We say call on wave update, which updates the wave. Create and spawn waves. We get the enemy spawner, which is in this class. We call that. So that's the enemy spawner. Which I was right, which is that thing. So this should get a data table at some point, right? Yes. So TD level 1 is this, which is actually not the one that's being used right now. Oh wait, we have no idea if this is used. Well, no, we do have an idea. We know this isn't used because I've completely bypassed that entire wave spawn system. Honestly, not even sure how, to be honest. Like, oh, I think I'm just listening for the event. Whoops. My bad. I think I just disconnected this. So this is S-Wave info. So this is just a TD level 1. And we create a wave from a struct, but I need to create a data table from a previous this. So that's the struct. And we're going to use our struct inside the struct inside the struct, or as I call it, the tri-struct. It's like a trifecta, but for structs. Alright, here's my level data. This, none of this should be inside here. Enemies to spawn. So we've got enemies to spawn, which is that code there. So we need to go back to you. Let's go data. Is it a miscellaneous data table? We need to... Okay, so spawn... Where are you? I just had you. Miscellaneous. There. Data table. So you want... What do you want? Enemies to spawn, level, localization, path points, spline, tower data, or wave info. Tower widget, tower stats, tower data. I think tower data is one I have. Tower... no, tower data. Don't fail me now, Ryder. F tower data. There we go. So that's how we do it. So then we go back to the enemy manager, and now would this... I guess this would be it, right? So we can remove that. I would say that would be how this would work. So let's restart the engine. And now we have to wait 3 working days for Unreal Engine to finish starting. What I should probably do, just to be safe, is copy this over. So we've got this whole, you know, our entire board with everything on it, including all our towers. There's all our towers. Design for that, the work in progress. And here, we've kind of designed this piece here. Let's remove that. And go back to the whiteboard. And let's add this. Can we fit it all in the same screen? We kind of can. There we go. So then we can paste this in here like that, and we get all that back. That's good enough. You know what, let's do this. Can I not resize and squish this? Fine. Ignore it. Also, did you notice color, the background color's changed again? I knew it changed.
Falling short, diving deep. Where is the water taking me? Trying hard waves pulling me. I want to hold on to something greater. I feel the waves come crashing in.
Okay, now we got all that data back. So Unreal should be finished, so we can now create a data struct again. Find in blueprints. So it's one of those weird classes where we've made this like 5 times. Wait, how's this gonna work? Because oh, I know how it's gonna work. We make one for each one. Right, never mind. Never mind, ignore me. We've got maps, we've got level data, we've got level 1, which has that, we've got main game, which has that, we've got test map, which has that, we've got that. So let's make a new one called continues ignoring Cider. Thank you for that. Enemy spawns. Enemy spawn. Enemy spawns. Then we're going to create a new miscellaneous one. Miscellaneous data table. This was called what? Group? No. Wave spawn? Wave. Enemy spawn wave. So let's call this test static map 5 home, and we'll call this enemy spawn. Enemies spawn list. The longest name known to man. So then if I click add, we create a new row. Let's call the row, can we rename the row? So wave 1. Okay. Auction Star 12 is out. Nice, nice. Very good to hear. Very good. How much are you charging for it? Is there currently a sale going on for it? So there's 5 member functions inside of this. There's 5 member functions inside of that. Okay, so we could choose enemy A. We can say that we want 10. That's a lot of money. That's like that's an extremely lot of money. Just remember, Steam takes 30%.
When I see you there, and my heart goes blind.
It's fine, they can have it. So enemy A, amount 1, spawn interval 1. Let's say that enemy type A, we're going to spawn 5. And good, spawn interval 1. Then we're going to add another one, which is going to be enemy type B, and we're going to spawn 5. So I need to actually go and add an enemy B. So A, B. Then for that, we're going to spawn that group. Let's spawn it 5 times. Why not? So that's 50 enemies. So that's the first wave. So, and then we're going to spawn that wave. This is what I like about this. And then we can now say that we want to spawn that X number of times as well. So we'll say that it isn't. So wave delay, let's make it 5 seconds. Then we'll do the next one. Ah, wait, hold on. Oh, then I can have complete different group. Oh, and that's just a single wave. Man, I've given this a lot. And I can go. The second part of the wave is just C, and we're going to spawn 5 of them. And we'll just have one group. Fine. We save that. We add another wave. And that's going to be... This is going to be one that stops it. Actually, let's make the first one that stops it. And the second one will be not one that stops it, but we're just going to spawn 10. Let's just spawn. Let's make sure it works. Let's just spawn one enemy of that type, but we're going to spawn it 15 times. Then we can see what happens. Because in theory, I can like, oh great, this kid is back on the escalator. Yes, yes I am. How are you doing, Turning Cog? Ow, I just clicked a part of my body that I feel like should not have clicked like that. Doing alright. Okay, so that will do that. And then we'll save them. That'll be wave 2. Wave 2. And we'll add another one. And this will be wave 3. And wave 3 will be 1, 1. And it'll be this. And this time we're going to check if... I'm just going to spawn one. Let's actually spawn to like 0.5. Right? Pre-group delay, whatever. And we're going to spawn this 10 times. And save that. So in theory, now we just need to process that into some kind of usable data. I have no idea how I'm actually going to turn that into like code now. I was digging around TurboSquid yesterday looking for some inspiration because I was because the house was sick and arguing most of the day, so I couldn't get real shit accomplished. Oh no! I'm sorry to hear that. Are they feeling better today? Did you find anything cool on TurboSquid? Do you find like actually good stuff on TurboSquid? Because every time I looked, I've been kind of disappointed. Our game's better than yours, Sala. Ah, nice. That does look pretty cool. Nice. Good job. Seems like it. Okay, that's good to hear. You know what? I may have made this a bit too complicated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm wondering if I've gone too low in levels. Not that, which I'm going to use a later point. Where is the path ID showing up? Oh, there, path to follow. I've been having trouble with my classware shaders, but a lot of the stuff I saw reminded me of glassware shaders reminded me a lot of the vintage glass. It tinted a color from the mineral impurities in the glass. That could be pretty cool. So is that a happy sort of accident that you're going to then be able to use going forward? It should add a bit of personality. It was lacking. That's cool. Nice. Definitely a happy accident then. Okay, I'm gonna have to have a think about how I'm gonna actually create the spawning system for this and how I'm gonna utilize it. Because I've made something that I think is extremely powerful in the sense that there's a lot of customization I can add to it. But it might be too much. So I'm gonna have a think about it this week and play around with it and see if I can get it working. But I do need to raid out because I need to go and get some dinner. Who shall we raid today? Just as you get your turn in cog, I'm like, I'm out. Bye. Bye, Felicia. I promise it's not you, it's me. FN later. Probably. Depending on what time you're playing. It's fine, whatever, man. Enjoy your day. You too! It's all the usual suspects streaming today. Let's do Mydrong today. We're running out of new people to raid. I haven't actually seen new people in a while because we've kind of got this. We're at this point where there's the core. I wouldn't even call it the core group. There's that group that you know that's streaming, so you kind of just keep going back to them. But yeah, let's go to Mydrong. Oh. Well, I thank you everybody for staying. Thank you everybody for keeping me company. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week this week. If you want to join in for the raid, here's the raid message. I nearly posted that in the wrong chat. That would have been super awkward. School just started too. You'll see a spike in autumn. Nice. That'll be cool. Maybe more people will be getting involved in a real engine. So as sort of autumn fully rolls out, we'll get a whole bunch more people coming in and more people streaming. There are only 7 Unreal Engine streamers using the tag. That I'm not surprised by. Not much actually seem to use the tag, but you know, it's fine. But yeah, anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Bye everybody. Bye.